Morning, guys. Welcome to Waves. So take a moment, find the common feature in all of these examples of motion that I have on the screen here. So these objects are undergoing what we call periodic motion, so a repeated motion. And that is what waves do. They undergo repeated or periodic motion. We would say that these objects are oscillating, moving back and forth at a regular rate. Oscillating objects are either moving in a circle or moving back and forth. So, when we talk about oscillation, there are several words that we're all going to need to be on the same page on. The first is period. And when we talk about period, when we talk about waves, it is the time it takes to complete an oscillation. The symbol that's used for period is a capital T, but it is simply time. So it's measured in seconds. So it's the time of one oscillation. So we had talked about this briefly when we looked at circular motion. It was the time of one rotation or one revolution. So period is simply the time per oscillation. The other term that we need to be familiar with is frequency. So we did also talk about frequency when we looked at circular motion. And frequency is the reciprocal of period. It is how many oscillations happen in an amount of time. The symbol for frequency is the lowercase f, and we measure frequency in hertz. So it is considered per second, but we call that hertz. So this is the mathematical way that we can relate period and frequency. So as I said, period is the reciprocal of frequency, where frequency is the reciprocal of period. So capital T equals 1 over F. Any ideas what we call this when we talk about waves? So it is a crest, the point on a wave with the maximum value of upward displacement. So if we were to look at waveforms, so on the top you have actually sound waves. And on the bottom you have a graphical way of representing that. And we can see that the very highest points, those would be the crests. So they're the maximum displacement of the wave. Any ideas what this is called? It is a trough. And in waves, it is the opposite of a crest. It's the point on the wave with the maximum value of downward displacement. So as we can see in this wave form, the crests are the top points, the troughs are the bottom points. Our other value that we'll talk about when we look at waves is amplitude, represented by a capital A. And it is the distance from equilibrium to a crest or to a trough. So equilibrium is this place on a wave where the wave is not moving. So if the energy wasn't moving through this waveform, it'd be this middle line right here, this resting position almost. And we measure amplitude from this middle line to either the crest, which is the highest point, or to the trough, which is the lowest point. Our other measurement is wavelength, represented by the Greek letter lambda. And it is the length of one complete wave. So this would be, and notice it's the horizontal distance, right? So we measure one complete wave, but horizontally. The easiest way to measure it is to look at crest to crest or trough to trough, but it's really the distance between any two repeating points on the wave. So let's take a moment. A track star runs 400-meter track with a frequency of 0.02 hertz. Determine the track star's period. Determine the track star's average velocity. So let's do this one together. So as always, we always write what we know about the problem. So the track star is running a 400-meter track. So that's a value of distance. I'm going to call it delta x. And there's a frequency of 0.02 hertz. And we want to know the track star's period. So remember, period is represented by the capital T, okay? So what was our relationship for period? Period is equal to 1 over the frequency. So the period for this particular track star, 1 over 0.02 hertz. You can leave it like that or change it, so actually figure out what's 1 over 0.02 hertz. So if I do that, I get it's 50. So the period of this track star's movement is 50 what? 50 seconds. Okay, so we have that there. Now, if I want to find the average velocity, what was our relationship? This is kind of a throwback. What is the velocity? What over what is the velocity? Velocity, average velocity, is the distance or the displacement traveled in the total amount of time. So the track star ran 400 meters in, we know now, 50 seconds. So 400 over 50, and that is 8. So the average velocity of this track star is 8 meters per second. Ooh, there it is. Alrighty, let's continue on with some definitions and key terms. So this, you've probably seen this before, but this is the way that we can find the velocity of a wave. So not just doing distance over time, this is the way we can write distance over time for a waveform. So velocity is equal to frequency times wavelength. So remember, wavelength is the Greek letter lambda. And what waves really are, what the velocity really is a movement of energy. So the velocity tells us the rate at which the velocity travels. And the speed of the wave will depend on the medium, so medium being the material that the wave travels through, and the temperature. There are two very, very broad categories of waves, and that is mechanical. So mechanical waves require a medium. They cannot travel without a medium. So they need some material to travel. And then electromagnetic waves, so energy that moves through a disturbance in the electromagnetic field. So if I had a slinky, this might be what waves look like. So there are two other kind of categories. So we've got mechanical and electromagnetic. We also have transverse and longitudinal. And we'll define those now. So a transverse wave is said to be a vibration that is a 90-degree angle to the original wave pulse. So I kind of like to think of the T as an upside down symbol for perpendicular. And any of the waves on our electromagnetic spectrum, so our visible light, our gamma rays, our microwaves, all that stuff, are transverse waves. And these types of waves on this particular electromagnetic spectrum, they are also electromagnetic waves, right? So this is a good thing for us. Otherwise, the Earth would be a very, very, very cold place. Because if light from the sun needed a medium, we would be in trouble. Our other type of wave, the longitudinal wave. And this is said to be a vibration that's in the same direction as the wave pulse. So I like to think of the L's on either side of the word longitudinal as the symbol for parallel. Longitudinal waves, they also have they're made up of what's called a compression and a rarefaction. So the compression is where the particles get really, really close together, and the rarefaction is where the particles would be very, very far apart. And we would measure wavelength. So in a transverse wave, wavelength can be measured crest to crest, trough to trough. In a longitudinal wave, we would again look for those repeating points, compression to compression or rarefaction to rarefaction. So we saw this before. So this up here is actually a waveform, a longitudinal wave, right? So it's moving parallel to the original wave source. An example of this would be sound. We often represent all waves graphically as transverse waveforms. So this is just showing us the comparison between our longitudinal wave and our transverse waveform. Now, sound waves in particular, so they are longitudinal, they are also mechanical. So you might have heard the tagline of the movie Alien. No one in space, no one can hear you scream. That is absolutely correct, right? So sound needs a medium to travel. There's nothing in space for sound to travel through. So it'd be pretty quiet up there.